Need for Speed Payback, the game right after the NFS franchise reboot in Need for Speed 2015. We just did a review on the game right here. Click there, right there, boom bop, you see it right. Yeah, nevertheless, we expected Payback to fix the main issues in 2015, but instead they just went a completely different route, completely different direction, and just went off the path, went off the road, if you will, you know? If you look at Payback trailer now, you can see how hyped everyone was for Need for Speed Payback. This was supposed to be the next big thing, but it never really formulated. If you look at the Payback trailer now, you can just see how hyped people were for a banger, but sadly this did not accumulate. Yeah, I even claim this would be one of the greatest racing games of this decade before it dropped.
That's just blasphemous and embarrassing, and Lord knows what else.
But yeah, as it happened, it did not accumulate, did not come together. So yeah, we're gonna show the good, the bad, and the ugly of Need for Speed Payback, similar to how we have, so far in this series. So yeah, and let you decide if this is a game worth your hard-earned bread. This game, I know it's a few years old now, but still, I think it's still people have interest in it. People that don't want to play Heat or don't want to play 2015, they look to Payback. So yeah, we'll just do a quick review on it and see if it's really, still a solid game even after all these years, right? And disclaimer, this is a review of Payback before Unite drops for it, as the Project Unite is going to drop for it. But this is just pre-Unite. This is pre-Unite, just so so you guys know, right? As this is still a Need for Speed game, visual customization is top tier. It's always, since Need for Speed 2015, visual customization has been top tier. They've just nailed it. Great customization across the board. Every car is pretty detailed when it comes to customization. You could do anything to it, really. A lot of options for every car. Even supercars have a lot of customization this time around, which is kind of surprising. I know in 2015 supercars really didn't have much, but in Payback they do, and it's a pretty solid amount. So like I said, yeah, customization, very good, very top tier. It's the best. Need for Speed is where you want customization, and Payback definitely delivers. Second point I think it's really good about this game is the drift handling. I know that might be coming out of right field, because I know a lot of people didn't like the drifting, or the handling in general in this game, but I think the drift handling is very good. I remember I had a great time using my RX-7 or Unicorn to just drift all around the map, do a bunch of drifting races. It was really fun. I thought the handling was responsive and actually lets you control where you're going, unlike Heat, which has very wonky drift handling. But Payback is really solid, I think. And a good point, if you enjoy drifting, I think Payback really did it right. Another great point, I think, or not, is okay point, right, is the police. The police, this is the second time they're implemented, and they did them really weird in this game. You can't just run into cops on, for your own, you have to, do a certain missions to get them to spawn and get them to activate. So that's the weird thing about this, is that police aren't roaming around. You have to do bait crates in order to get them going. And it's just a point-to-point race, sort of. It's not even a pursuit. They can't even, catch you, really. You have to go out of your way for them to catch you, So police are okay, but they're not that good. They're really not that good, I'll be honest. A really good point I like that I forgot to mention up until now, they're derelicts. Derelicts are the first game that does it, and the only Need for Speed game that have done derelicts. And it's like Forza Horizon's, barn find system, where you find parts of an old car and you put it together and you build a car out of it. And that's the only way to get that car. And I think it's a really good system that should have came back. They could have used that in Heat. I think it really would have been really solid. I would like derelicts, finding the parts and putting together classic cars, such as the 240Z and the Mustang, the 65 Mustang. It's just really cool, the Beetle as well. I thought the derelict system was really good. I'm surprised they didn't come back with it. Another great point is the map. The map is massive. It's huge. I think it might be bigger than Heat. It's just an absolute massive map. And there's mainly 4 regions. You have an off-road region, a city region similar to Heat, regular cities as we know it, and also a desert. Mainly though, the main thing is the desert. The desert's huge in this game. There's so much desert. Highways are really good. There's also a foresty area, similar to Hot Pursuit 2. That started giving me big vibes of Hot Pursuit 2, which I thought was really good. The map is really massive. If that's what you enjoy, having a huge map and a huge place to roam, I think Payback really offers in that, in that department. Really huge map, crazy map. Again, another great point I think is speed lists. Speed lists return in Payback and are just as fun as 2015. To a point, right? I'll mention this in more detail later, but the online is kind of unbalanced in Payback, and I'll explain that later. But If you can get past that, I think the online's pretty good. I like Speedless. People still play it. They give you full games even now, and like that's a few years later. It's still really good. So I think that's a great point. Speedless online gameplay. If you enjoy playing against other people, it's a really great game for that. This is online. I think it's pretty solid. And Need for Speed Payback. That's kind of the good. That's kind of sums up the good. So if you enjoyed so far, I would really appreciate a like as well as subscription. If you'd like to see more reviews like this, I have done 2 other reviews. 2015 and Heat, if you'd like to check that out, or somewhere, right? But yeah, let's continue to the bad. Now we're gonna be here a while, sadly enough. Good parts are pretty good in Payback, but the bad are really bad. So graphics are not great. Graphics are really, they're not. They take a very massive step back from Need for Speed 2015. Nowhere close to Need for Speed 2015. Graphics are just really not that great. If you really care about how cars look, which I mean, I think I don't even care about graphics all that much, and I can notice it. Like, you can just tell the game does not look that good, in my opinion. Maybe I'm bugging, but I think that's a point that needs to be mentioned, I think. Engine sounds, they're pretty solid, but they're nothing crazy. I would say this is maybe not bad, but it's not good either. It's like, in the middle of the pack. They're okay. They're mid, very mid. Very mid, I think. Many cars sound the same, giving me big time, vibes of GTA 5, where it's like a lot of cars have the same, engine note. Soundtrack is pretty bad. It's pretty mid. No, it's pretty bad. There's been a common theme with the recent Need for Speed games is the soundtrack's just bad. Again, it's all personal preference, but I just feel the soundtrack's it's just not good, man. It really is not good. I thought it would, they never seem to do it right since the old days. Maybe that's old head in me, right? They haven't had a good soundtrack since like Pro Street, or maybe Rivals. I think you give it to Rivals, or Most Wanted. I think the reboot of Most Wanted wasn't too bad, but like they just haven't been putting out good soundtracks in the past few games. That's just my opinion. You're obviously here for my opinion, but like that's just, I don't think it's very good. Maybe you think otherwise, but yeah, it's just not very good soundtrack in my opinion. Story is pretty cringy, but I'm not gonna lie, it did have some moments. I think the story, it's not that, it's okay. It's really like over the top and really kind of cringy, but it had some really solid moments. Some of the missions, really over the top, Fast and Furious style missions that they have, I think are really cool. And they weren't brung back in Heat or any other game post, Payback. And I think maybe they should have stuck with that a little more. And the ability to have your own cars in that one mission, and I think it's Skywrecker or something. It's really cool how you could have your own cars in that. I'll show you guys, but like it's just really good. I think some of them, like overly over the top dramatic missions are really solid, but the rest of the story is still kind of cringy. Another point I feel is the bad but not ugly, right, is lacking in endgame. There's really not much to do after you beat the game in Payback besides rank up your online rank, and that doesn't really there's no rewards for it. It's just a number, so I don't think it's really that worth doing. It's really not that good, but hey, to each their own. I don't think there's really a great end game in Payback, and maybe they should have added more of that. The end game, they really just added more paid cars and one off-road DLC, and that wasn't that good. It really wasn't. I was excited for the DLC, but it wasn't that good, man. It really was not. Oh, and side note, Jake Paul's in this game. Yeah, he's in this game. I don't know why, but yeah, he is. Let's get to the ugly. Kind of what probably you guys are waiting for. Performance customization is terrible. Let me explain. Right. To upgrade your car, you have to do races over and over again and grind to get speed cards that will upgrade your car to a certain part. As you race, you get to pick out of 3 speed cards, right? And you will just get a random part with random boosts on certain things for different, engine, transmission, turbo, whatever part it is, and it's all random. And these cards are branded, and having a set of 6 of these will give you a boost in 2 categories. So you're incentivized to really grind to get specific categories so you can boost a specific stat. That's the kind of the gist of it, right? And you can't upgrade your performance like you did in 2015. So like I said, it's like a speed card. It's all based on these speed cards, which you can buy for credits, or you can just get it by racing. It's sort of like the Crew 1, but I feel like the Crew 1 did it much better in my opinion. But yeah, you can't just it's not the standard upgrade system in 2015 or like classic Need for Speeds where you just pick what you want and you buy it. Not the case at all. And I haven't even said the worst part. If you don't feel like grinding 12 hours a day, you can just buy packs of real money. Here comes the microtransaction part of Payback, where they have these different packs and premium packs and part packs and all that, where you can spend up to like $60 to buy the most It's the same price at a game. It's crazy, the microtransactions in Payback, because they really incentivize you to like buy these packs, because to build your car up, it takes a long time. To get your car from 0 to 399, it really takes a long time. Remember, I was mad about that when I first played this game. I was like, bro, am I only supposed to have one car in this game or something? It's the biggest issue, and especially if you want to make it like super competitive and want to have like perfect stats across the board. Oh boy, you're gonna be in for a long ride, because you have to grind it every day to get the certain, you know, brands and certain parts, or you just pay for packs and do that. So it's microtransactions are really bad in Payback, and probably deter you from this game, to be honest. I'm just telling you how it is. Microtransactions are really bad in this game. And here we are to the point about the terribly balanced online, which I said I was going to come back to later. I can't leave out the glaring issue that the RSR and Koenigsegg Regera are just absolutely OP and dominant in Payback. It's even worse than Heat. The RSR is still OP in Heat, but the Regera won 262, and that just blows it out the water comparing to any other car in the game. It's the only car that can push 260, and you can just abuse straight line races in the Regera. Every other car's top speed is like 234, 235 maybe. The Regera can just beat it. There's nothing you can do either. It's a straight line. There's nothing you can do. The Regera and RSR are just OP, and you'll see a lot of them, and it might frustrate you in the online, which might make the online take it from a good point to a terrible point, you know. So yeah, that needs to be said. The online is just really unbalanced, especially in the Regera and RSR. And maybe the not worst point, and it's pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie, is the handling. Handling is still bad. You seem to be like magnetized to side rails and wipe out a lot. It just happens all the time. Maybe I'm bugging, but like the handling just launches you everywhere. I just feel like you're just sent in multiple directions all the time, and it's like I can't drive. You might just see like I'm a terrible driver, but it's just the game. I think the handling is really bad, and you just stick to walls and flip and wipe out all the time. It's just really awful. That's just the case. I hate to say it, but the handling is just awful in Payback. That should be the make or break, in my opinion, along with the microtransactions. So yeah, there we go. We finally got through the ugly and the bad, right? Overall, I compare Need for Speed Payback to like a Kwame Brown, you know, a #1 pick, very high expectations after Need for Speed 2015. Like I was saying, it was super hyped out the gate, you know, LeBron James type, you know, hype, but it did not live up to that. End up being kind of mediocre at best, you know, terrible at worst. Truth lays somewhere in the middle, right? It's a pretty bad game, straight up, but I know it might enjoy it. I still enjoyed it in some aspects, you know. Maybe say Andrew Wiggins, but I don't think Payback ever had the tools to really be great from the jump. It's just microtransactions from the jump kind of, you know, anchored it down to never be that great. So yeah, okay, you know, in conclusion, is it a worthy buy? Nah, just save your bread and just buy Heat, right? Just buy Heat. I think that it kind of sums up everything, right? Just buy Heat at the end of the day. So yeah, that's kind of it, and yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one.